Meeting is being
Hey,
recorded.
Virginia. So, hi, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Bond, Virginia Bond. Bond like James, Virginia like the state. And I work for NARIC as an ISS Integration of Technology Training Specialist. I've been in education since 1989, so I'm an old timer. Some of you will totally represent that, and you get what that means. I've been around through this. I've been through the ice storm. This is like, I just told someone, this is like the second rendition of an ice storm that hit the North Country. So when I say the North Country, I live in Malone. And if you don't know where that is, you go to Lake Placid.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm in the Great White North. Yeah, I'm in Malone. You go to Lake Placid, you go north another hour. I am all the way up on the top of the country. So I am way up yonder in the Pawpaw Patch. My uncle calls this the Great White North. Um, I too have been working from home, and I just said to my colleagues, yeah, it's only been like 2 weeks, and I was like, oh my God, no, it's been like the third week we've been at this. So I get it. It's a little crazy, but here we go. So today we're going to work on Google Classroom 2, and I have in the sidebar, there is the link for the notes. Don't worry about that if you don't get them right now. Just feel free to just follow along. And then when this is over, I will send you the links. I will send you an entire classroom set. You'll have so much stuff you won't know what to do with all of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And like I said to other people, like, don't freak out. It's not that I'm not looking at you. I'm going to look at my other camera over here. So not my other camera, my other screen, not my other camera. So what you see in here is I'm in my Google Drive, and trust me, we're going to get to Classroom in just a minute. I'm going to go in, and what I have in here is a Google Classroom 2 folder that you are all going to have access to. And within it, I kind of just want to walk through what's in here so you can see what we have. So the first thing we have is we have the reference document, which is all the kind of pieces I'm going to go through today. Excuse me. The second thing I have in here is I have a Google Classroom 1 session. So basically these are like the notes, and they're not pretty because it's just literally kind of like the basics of what's out there. And if you're interested, let me know, because I am offering a Google Classroom 1 next week as a full 1 hour session. If you feel like you really want to brush up on some of your skills, that may be something you want to do. Google, the next thing here is Gmail, and sometimes we're seeing students that are having issues logging in to Google Classrooms. There are directions in here, because what's happening is students that go home and try to get into a Google Classroom, they're usually using, if they don't have their own device, they're using their parent's device. And because of that, usually the parent's device is taking over the Google account. So we're going to talk a little bit about default accounts today, and that will make sense as we go through that. Also in here, these last two things, which I think can be very helpful. This is the unofficial guide to Google Classroom. This is from Jeremy Dudley from Albany City. He has given me permission to use it. It is excellent. No one wants to print it because it's like 50 pages long. But it is a really, really helpful piece. Now, this was put out in 2018. It's still very good. It's not totally perfect, just so you know when you go in, but it will solve 85% of your problems if you have one and you can't figure out what's going on. Then there's a header. We're going to use this in a few minutes so you can see what that looks like. And then the last thing that I have in here is a Google statement. So I am a Google certified trainer, which is why my certified trainer number is on the documents you're going to get. And Kate, yes, you will have access to all of them because I'm going to send them to you directly as a link today. This is a Google statement that basically is for my CRB friends who are special ed, who are from NARIC. They have their NARIC accounts, but they work in a separate district. A lot of these districts are asking you to create a Google Classroom if you haven't already, or you're trying to. And really what you are going to need is you're going to need an account within that specific school district. For example, if you are a teacher teaching students at Niskayuna, you will need to have a Niskayuna account for you to be able to have a Google Classroom, because you cannot have a Google Classroom at NARIC, and Niskayuna will not allow you to put Niski kids in there. It doesn't happen. So I just want to kind of give you a heads up about that. We did craft a specific statement. The reason that my certified trainer number is on there is because within CAP Region BOCES and NARIC, they do recognize me with those credentials. So it just kind of helps you if you're dealing with people outside the region. Okay, hopefully now we're ready to go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to go to classroom.google.com. So hopefully most of you are here. So I'm going to talk about default accounts right off the bat. You can see when I come over here that I am in this account, which is, this is my personal account. So when I talk about default accounts are what you originally log into your Google with. So I log in right off the bat with my personal account because I do a lot of work out of that and I need that email open. So because of that, there might be issues with me going back and forth. So when I want to go to another account, I must use my down arrow right here. So I'm going to work out of my NARIC account for Classroom. I'm going to use my examples. My document sits in my personal account. There's all kinds of reasons for that, and I'll explain in a few minutes. So I am going to go into one of my Google Classrooms. You can see that I have 5 right here. In this class, I am a student. In these classes, I am a teacher. So the first thing I want to do really is we're going to talk about archiving before I go anywhere. So if you have lots of classes, so I have lots of Google Classrooms. And if I went into my archived classes, you will see that they are all right here. I have lots and lots of them. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to restore this class, which is my Fulton Academy Google class that I did last year. I'm going to pull that back up so I have that back into my list of classes. So what most people are like, well, why don't I just delete my classes? We don't want to do that. We don't want to delete them. We want them out of the way. And the reasoning behind that is because you may have things in there that you want to get access to. And that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to archive this class right here. So I don't need this sandbox class. So I'm going to click on my 3 buttons, the dots, the dot, dot, dot. Some people call it the traffic light. Some people call it the skinny snowman. I literally just call it the dot, dot, dot. That's a really good, by the way, Mamma Mia reference. So I'm going to click those 3 dots and I'm going to tell it to archive. And what I'm basically doing, it's going to ask me, are you sure you want to archive it? I am sure. What it's doing is it's taking my files off my table, off my desktop right here, and it's moving it into a filing cabinet across the room so I can't see it. It still exists. I still have access to it. I can still get it. It's just over there when I can't see it. Can I show it again? I absolutely can. So I have to make sure I archive. I'm going to have to unarchive it because if I archive too much, I can't get back what I need. So let me unarchive it. I'm going to restore it. Okay. So you see that I still have all of my classes here. So when I go back into Classroom, you'll see I have it. And then I have 3 dots. The 1, 2, 3 dots in the corner of the classroom are where I'm going to archive it. So I have 3 dots right here. I'm going to click on those 3 dots and I am going to the bottom of the list. So I can move it, I can edit it, I can copy it. So let's just do it. I can move it, see, around. I can edit it, which changes it, and then I can go into those 3 dots and I can archive it. So we're going to push that, we're going to archive it. It's going over into the filing cabinet over there in my dining room. I don't really have one, but you know, just for fun. I'm going to click on a classroom now. So I would love to tell you that I'm going to totally stick to the list of this, but I am so not going to do that, just so you know. I pretty much is just going to go. We'll go through all of these things here and there. I try to do it in an organized manner, but it doesn't always work that way. I would love to tell you that my brain worked the right way, but it doesn't. So first thing we want to do is we want to kind of look through what this looks like. So the instructional team. Over here in the left-hand corner, you have your list of your teams what I'm enrolled in, your archive stuff, and your settings. Now, if you want to make changes to how you're getting information yourself, you are talking about settings, and they exist over here in the left-hand side, not over here. So let me do that, explain one more time. These settings are for this class. These settings over here are for you, the teacher. So if you are getting too many emails, this is where you turn it off and turn it on. It's kind of hard not to have them on right now because we need so much stuff coming from our kids to know if we're getting it, but you can limit some of what you're getting. You can limit the notifications. So I have them all turned on here. So just understand that these are your personal settings, not your classroom settings. So what I just said, and guys, I'm really glad you're using that chat. It's making my life much easier. The settings within the class are for the class itself, just this class. These settings here on the left-hand side are your personal settings. So how much email do I want to get from all of my classes? How much do I want from whatever? Do I want to just turn on a piece? So we're going to come back to that in a little bit, but that's been a question that's been coming up a lot. Okay, so I am going to go back out right in here, and I'm going to go back out into my classroom. So let's talk about stream versus classwork. So the stream is what you're typically seeing. So this is what my stream looks like. You see my profile pic in here. And when I come through here, you can see it's pretty clean. So that's not typically what most people have them look like. So I'm just going to go and show you what it typically looks like. So and then we'll talk about why I don't like that. So this is what it typically looks like for most people. This is the default for the settings for most classrooms. So when we talk about this, so we understand that over on the left-hand side, those settings, I can talk about my email. So these settings are going to change how my classroom looks. So you notice I turned something on, and in here when I turned it on, you can see now I got all kinds of stuff in here. Okay, that is way too much for me. I am very much, I'm going to be real honest, a control freak, right? I got no problem telling anybody that. But I like my stuff to be as neat as possible. And I don't want stuff in two places. It's like thank you for laughing. It's like I don't want stuff twice. Okay, we already get enough email, right? I don't want to get notifications in two places. I want to keep my stuff as neat as possible. So what I do is I keep my stream much more clean. I don't want these assignments to be in here. I only want my announcements to be in my stream. So to make that change, I go into my settings. See, these are my class settings. And I come down into general. And it says right here, do I want classwork on the stream? When I come over here, I have three options. I can show attachments and details. Oh, no, I don't think so. I can show condensed notifications, which is what I have right now. Nope, 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 still don't want it. I'm going to hide them. So now I'm going to save them, and then I'm going to close my settings, and I'm going to go back out and see what it looks like. Oh, look at that. So now I am just back to announcements, and this is much cleaner. It has a nicer look to it. I like how it feels. Yes, so these are not what's coming to your email. So that's a good question. This is just, these are announcements that I'm giving my class. If, somebody walks in and makes a comment on it, and I have my comments set over here, then it will come to me. So let's go. So your stream are for announcements. Let's just do one right here. So I'm going to send a stream, and I'm going to say, the day is good. Stay strong. Okay, so then I have the option, who do I want to send it to? I'm going to send it to everyone in my classroom, and then I am going to click post. I could totally add something in here. I don't have to, but I totally could. I could go in and I could put something in here that's along the lines of, hey, this is what you need to do. Okay, make sure you're checking your assignments, whatever I need to, but I'm just going to post it. So now this is the concept. It's just announcements. The difference between this and the classwork, this is where I put my work for my students. So let's look at it again. Remember when we were just in here and I had my condensed notifications in here? I had all those little green circles. That was my classwork that was popping up. I don't want that. I want my stream to be clean and my classwork to be clean. I like to keep them apart. If that's not how you roll, show stuff. I just find it's overwhelming to me to have too much stuff in one place. So think about your students. If it's overwhelming to you to have that much stuff, it's probably overwhelming for your kids to have it two places as well. So classwork. So now I'm going to go to classwork. So let's talk about what's in here. And I'm just going to check and see what I have in here that I need to cover. Okay, so pull to multiple classrooms. Okay, good. Here we go. Sometimes I have to make sure my brain is where my head is. Okay, so we're going to create. I'm going to create an assignment. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to create an assignment. So one of my tips and tricks that I always give to people is make sure you have a naming convention. I don't care what it is, just come up with something. Please don't put in here today's assignment. That is a terrible name. It's like leaving a document called untitled, okay? That doesn't tell me anything. Be very specific in your title. So I like to use the date. So I like to use the date when I don't start the class at the beginning of the year. If I start the class at the beginning of the year, I actually number them by days. So I would use 001 for the first day of school, 002 for the second day, because what that does, it allows my students to come in and find their information much quicker, and they don't have to worry about, okay, I missed what assignment? I missed today's assignment. Well, there's 85 today's assignment. Which ones did I miss? I'm going to use some kind of naming convention. Make up your own. I don't care what it is. Date is good. A numbering system, even if you say Monday, April 2nd is better, right? Than typically what people do. So I put the date in there. So 4.2.A. Why am I using a letter? I may have 3 different pieces for today. So I'm going to use ABC. That's going to allow students to find it easier. And I'm going to just say, so now I'm going to say Thursday's assignment. Then I'm going to put in directions. Please go to the porch. Okay, this is such a weird one because I want to go outside because the sun is out. Please go to the porch, take a picture, and post here. Post in the slide presentation. Okay, so that's really weird. But you see how it has, it would be way better typing if I could type. So I'm not a great typist, so you know. Take a picture and post in the slide presentation. All right, if I was working with special ed students, one of the things that I would do, I would put line 1, okay? Please go to the porch. That would be my first direction. Line 2, take a picture. See how I'm making these very simple? I'm also doing something not typical. I'm putting spaces between there so that it's easier to read for a student, okay? Think about yourself. Lots of text can get overwhelming. Break it up just a little, okay? Post in the slide presentation. So all I did was take my original component, have it broken a little bit more. So now I have to add a slide presentation because they don't know where it's going to go. So, aren't you glad that I can spell? Please don't ever judge me on my ability to type because I would be an epic failure. I am totally honest about this. So I'm going to go into my Google Drive. And you can see when I click add, it says to me, okay, what do you want to add? I'm going to go into my drive right here, and I'm going to add something. Yada, yada, yada. I'm going to come into, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to just come down here and find something. I don't even know if I have a slide presentation sitting in here somewhere. Probably. Let's just look for one. See, I'm going to look for presentations. I'm just going to look because I don't have a lot. Oh, there's a couple. Perfect. This will be good right here. I'm going to add that in. Then my options are students can view the file. If I give that, they can only look at it. That's not going to be helpful. Students can edit the file. All students editing to one file. That's what I want. If I make a copy, they get their own. That's not what I want today. So I'm going to do students can edit. We're all good. Now, what we're really doing, I'm creating the assignment, but I'm actually going to push it to multiple classes. So I have 2 classes going right now. Here they are. 2 of them, I'm going to push the assignments to 2. So if you happen to be a science teacher who is pushing to multiple classes at the same time, this is great for you. Make 1 assignment, push it to all your classes. If you're a music teacher who needs to do lessons, you need to push it to many, you're going to push it to all your classes. Some teachers are having an individual classroom for each of their students, and they can push it all. Yes, I am only in 1 class right now, Sherry. I think that was Sherry that asked me that question. I'm in 1 class, but over here I have the option. All my classes will show, and I'm pushing this assignment to all of my classes at the same time. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm taking 1 assignment, pushing it to everyone. Okay, so you have to make sure that the level that you give them is the right one. Otherwise, you have to take it out and do it again. So I'm pushing it. I don't get the option to choose what kids back and forth I want to do that. So I'm going to push it to all classes. I'm going to assign it. So let me just caution you right now about due dates. I know we all want due dates, but the reality is that not all of your students can hit due dates right now. We have to really be cognizant of that. So we know that when we're working with kids remotely, they're in all kinds of different situations. I would really caution you with having these hard and fast due dates. Whatever you really want, push it out a little bit so they have some extra time. I mean, I know right here in our household, there's only 2 of us, my husband and myself. My husband is an associate funeral director. When he's home doing work, my Wi-Fi just goes, it kind of craps out. And I told him, you gotta stay at the funeral home for the next like 8 hours because I need the best Wi-Fi I can have. So now take that and push that times 5 or 6 people in the room, all trying to do it at the same time. So not every kid is going to be able to be on at the same time if all kinds of people are using things at the same time, much less have access to a device. So just be a little cognizant about that. Push them out, give kids extra time. That will be very helpful for them. Okay, your procrastinators are not going to change a new leaf just because they're learning from home. They're still going to be procrastinators. You're still going to have to nudge them to get things started and going, but most of your kids will work. So just understand that those can't always be as tried and true as they want to be. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to push this out, right? It would be great if it was done. I'm going to lie. I don't want it done. It's really Thursday's assignment. It would be perfect if it was done today. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to push it till Monday so that it's due on Monday. So I'm just trying to be very mindful of what my students are going through, what I'm going through. I know the struggles that we're all having. So I'm all done. I'm just going to sign it. So this is all done, signed, and pushed out, okay? Takes a little bit of time because it's a signing. So is there a downside to not having a due date? There is, because then you can't really tell. It has to be turned on and they always have access to it. But in this kind of situation, I think that's your own call. You have stuff that'll have due dates. Some kids won't do stuff if it doesn't have a due date. So you know. So just pick a random one. I mean, pick a Saturday. It doesn't matter. And that's the other thing. You don't necessarily have to have all your due dates on a weekday. You can use Saturdays and Sundays if you want to give students more time. So this assignment went to 2 classes. So this is the Thursday assignment. So I'm going to come back in. What if I want to edit it? So I'm going to click right in here. I'm going to click edit. I'm going to come back in. So there's a few things that I can edit and there's a few things I can't. I can't make this go to more than 1 student. I can't do it. There's just no way it can happen. So it's in here. What can I edit while I'm in here? Well, one of the things that I can edit is I can add a topic to it. So this is, I think, hugely important. Make sure you're organizing your Google Classroom so it's easier to follow along with. This is a daily assignment. I'm adding that. I'm saving it. And what it's doing, it's coming in, and now it's going to have a daily assignment. It's going to come into my daily assignment list. And I really like that. So what I did is I posted to multiple classes. Let's make a new assignment where I want to reuse a post. Okay, so create, I'm going to reuse a post down here. Reusing a post allows me to go out into one of my old classes. It allows me to go to another class that I might have used. It allows me to access all of my archived classes, which is like, oh, it's a hallelujah, come to Jesus moment for some of us, right? We did this last year. I know it's in there. That's the one I want. It means I don't have to rewrite an entire piece. So this is the class. These are the things that I have right now. When I use this little back arrow, it takes me into all of my archive. Look at all of them. Look how many I have, right? And it allows me to pull from any of my classrooms. So I'm going to go into this one right here, which was a session that I did with Long Lake, and I can pull this one right here. So this Sylvia Duckworth, and I can pull this video in, right? Oh, Kara, I'm going there next. So don't jump the gun on me, girl. I'm getting there. No, I'm just kidding. So here's a post. I'm reusing it. So it says Sylvia Duckworth grit video. I'm going to please watch the video. It's okay. I'm just kidding. I'm going to go in. I'm going to watch the video. And the only thing you have to do when you reuse it is typically, and you may want to change the directions. That's it. So that's a huge benefit. So the question came yesterday, can I reassign this to multiple classes? Well, yeah, girl, you can. Absolutely can. And once I get my mouse back, I lost my mouse. It's here. It's coming. See, even trainers have technical problems. Ugh. Sometimes the mouse gets stuck on my laptop, but I can't get it back. I, again, can come in here and I can assign to multiple classrooms, which is awesome. But let's do a 2-for-1. I'm going to reuse a post, and then I'm going to just differentiate the instruction. I'm going to come in here to all my students. Instead of assigning it to all, I'm only going to assign it to 2. So I can do that as well. So that's a whole nother thing. I'm going to make sure that I give it, it already has a topic. It's called TED Topics. The topic will come from where I had it before. I'm going to push it through and I'm going to assign it. So now I'm going to back up even more. Somebody just asked me, I think it was Kara, can I schedule these? Well, yes, thank God, right? So I pushed a bad thing. I pushed schedule. So we'll make a new one. We'll go in here. We'll make a new assignment. No, I lied. I'm going to reuse a post. I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to come down, reuse a post, whatever it may be. I'm going to do this, just do it. Pull that from here. I'm going to actually pull it into my classroom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule it for tomorrow. So pretend there are directions in here. I hope nobody gives those directions because those are awful. Here's all I need, my Padlet notes. I have make a copy for each student in my classroom. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a topic. It's going to be a daily assignment. And I know, hello, puppy in the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule it out. Good question. Can I do multiple classes? So here we go, multiple classes. And I'm gonna push right there. I don't want to assign it. I want to schedule it. So no, you cannot. Okay, you cannot schedule for more than one class. See how it's grayed out? So I didn't know that answer. So let's try one. So now when I do that, it should allow me to schedule. So that's a trick. So you can't. You have to, you can create assignments, but you can't schedule them across multiple classes. That's kind of a bummer. But you could go in to the second class, reuse the post and schedule it there. So at least you're not writing the whole post again. Sometimes with Google Classroom, we have to come up, I call it hacks. So it's basically a workaround. So you can do what you want to do. You just have to do it in a different way. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop right there for just a second. I'm going to push this out. So I'm going to schedule this for tomorrow. You can pick the time and when it rolls out. So if you are really good at planning ahead, God love you. If you're really good, I have an issue with planning ahead just because it's hard. If you're really good, that's one thing you can do. You can go in on a Monday morning and you can push out all your assignments to your classrooms. So if you want to schedule them, here's what I would do. I would push them out and schedule them. You can go through and you can push an assignment out and you can schedule them for an entire week. And then you can put the date on them. And then I would have to be able to reuse the post. The question is, can I reuse the post in a different classroom? So Does somebody else want to ask a question while I'm out? I'm going to try it myself and see if I can make it work. So go ahead. See, somebody can just pop in and can just unmute and ask a question if you want. Because I am going to try this and see if it works. I'm going to see if I can reuse a post and schedule it from another classroom if it allows me to. I don't think it's going to. I don't think I have any questions. All right, I'm going to have to come back to that one because it's being a little wonky. So I don't want to waste too much time on that. All right, I'm going to go back in. Everybody just take a stretch for a minute. I know. I need a stretch, so I'm going to have you just stretch for a quick hot second. I know. It's a really good practice when you're in with kids. Kind of break your learning for a minute. They need it. Their brains have to unconnect from that screen for a minute. Stretch. Have yourself a fluid. I don't know, have just some grape Kool-Aid. And then we are going to pop right back in. Oh, Nyla, let me trust you. Trust you, me, girl. We cover a lot. These are like, I have a friend who describes the training for me as a literal, like, mind meld. You just kind of walk in her brain and you stroll around for a while and you see what's going on. All right, so let's see where we are. Archiving multiple classes, reusing a post, using a stream for announcements. We've done that. We've also talked about topics. So while we're in here, I want to just give you some ideas for topic ideas. They're important because what they allow me to do is they allow me to come in and it really organizes your information. So what I really like to do is I like to have a materials section. If you are an old user, so let me kind of walk that backward, not an old person using, but if you're an old user of Classroom, you remember, and this was like 2 years ago, that there used to be an About tab. And the About tab is where we would go in and we would put information about ourselves. We would maybe put a syllabus. We might put our classroom materials up there. It's gone. They took it out. So you can recreate that in your classwork by making a topic called materials. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. So when I click in here and I look, what you see in here, I put classroom statement, and I also put Google Classroom slides that are in here.
Yeah, why am I not surprised?
Hey, Jim, John, can you make sure you mute, please? Thank you.
Grandma.
Grandma?
Grandma gave me two.
Oh, God bless her.
We stopped at Grandma's house. She
Let's see
came
if
out.
I can get him muted. So,
Yeah.
go right back in. So I'm going to mute everybody. Sorry. There we go. So when we go to Classroom and we look at that, yes, it's okay. I get all kinds of things. You're welcome. So when we are in here and we see this, one of the things that I might want to do is I might want to have a classroom material resources collection that had when my virtual office hours and a way for parents to contact you or for kids to contact you. So say I want to create one of those. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create a, let's just say materials. I'm going to say contact hours, right? So I've done creating these, I've done adding them. I'm going to make a new one. Doc. I'm going to make a doc that's really, really simple. I used to tell teachers what you needed to do in Google Classroom is you needed to think about it like your classroom. So here's my classroom. I don't make up worksheets for you on the fly, right? I have them all made for, I've gone to the copier, I get my copies, I have them all for you ready when you walk in the room. That's not like that anymore. Now you can create on the fly. Right now, we all are, like I said, having a happy moment. Yay, thank goodness, so that it's not so crazy. So the first thing I'm going to just do it is I'm going to call it bond contact hours, right? So you can make them in here, right? So, you know, whatever you do to put in here so you have what you need. I would encourage you to use a little humor with your kids because quite honestly, we all need it right now, right? We all need a little bit of something. So you can go like this. So I'm just going to put something in like this. So how did I open it? I literally just at the bottom when I'm making the assignments, they now have add, which means it's already made, or it's create. So I'm going to create. So I might say like, here's my office hours, and I call them virtual office hours. You might have to say that. Mine are going to be 8 to 10 daily, Monday through Friday. The way to get to me, here's my link. So it's really simple. I really, the reason I find this is important is because a lot of parents are dealing with a lot of people, right? They don't understand. I'm going to put my email on there. That might be something else. And then I'm going to give them all the pieces they need. So now I have everything that I need, right? I'm going to go back out. That is all built. I'm going to go back out to my classroom. I'm actually going to close this because it's all done. And I'm going to have in here, it will eventually say bond contact hours. It does not have it right now. Please be patient with Google. All right. I know it's really rough for us right now. We want it to be faster. My friend used this analogy the other day. It's like a gym, right? Gym sells a lot of memberships and they sell them to a lot of people all the time. They never expect everybody to come to the gym at the same time. So what's happening is that everybody's coming to the gym at the same exact time and is trying to use it. And the problem with that is that it doesn't have the capacity to hold us all at the same time. It just can't. So I'm going to throw this into materials. Here's a material. I'm going to post it. It's all set. So now what I've done is I've kind of created these materials that people will have and they'll be able to use. Okay, so here's contact hours. What's nice about that is it funnels it all into one place. I don't know about you, but my email is overwhelming. So quite honestly, I'm working with 136 schools, 7 BOCES. We did the math the other day. There's about 100,000 teachers in there and, you know, God only knows how many administrators. So the fact that my email keeps pinging every probably 5 minutes, 24 hours a day is a little overwhelming, right? It's crazy. So anytime we can take away email from ourselves and from our parents, it's probably helpful. So having those contact hours in there, maybe sending them a link to that, I mean, one time, but then they know it's always in the same place. That's going to be valuable. There's another trick when you do this too, is that I can actually go into this document and I can add into it. I can edit this document, ooh, right here. Okay, I don't have to go into my Google Drive to do it. So I'm just going to go back out and it's back in my classroom. It's sitting here, right? So when I click back in here, look what happens. It has it right there. So you don't have to go find it. You don't have to resend it. Any edits you put in there are going to stay there and they're going to be there for your students. So I think that's very helpful. You can't see my screen. That's because I forgot to share my screen. Thank you for the lovely little saint who just told me that, because even I forget, right? So what I did is I edited my doc right here. And then when I come back in, right here, I edited it from there. I didn't go out and try to find it on Google Drive. I can edit it. So that's a benefit of having a document like in your classroom, is that you can edit it here and it shows up for everybody automatically. You don't have to push it out to them. All right, next thing. I'm just trying to be keep going. We've done topic ideas. We've talked about directions. Don't give them the blah, blah, blah directions. Those won't work very well. Although it is kind of funny. I did a yada, yada, yada yesterday and somebody set me back. One of my teammates, they all have a little bit of humor. They were like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, good for you. So think about differentiating instruction for your students. Let me give you an example of what that means. In this resource right here, I have created, could you have subtopics under your materials? I don't know that answer. That's a really good question. I think you might have to make if I went to all topics, when I created a topics, I might want it to be materials : and then put the name of it, so it really wouldn't be a subtopic, but it would be to you. And you notice I'm using like uppercase and lowercase. So the uppercase are more like reference kind of components, and the lowercase are more like assignments pieces that they have. So that's a non-answer answer. So that is an example of a hack. So in here I have a document. It's called Resources for Research Pink. And I want to show you what that looks like. So when I click on this to open it, what I did is I created a template for my students to use. And say I want them to do research on animals. And I want them to come through and I want to use this. And what I did is I assigned this to my pink group. So if I come over here and I see who it's assigned to, I have like 8 people in this classroom. I only assigned it to 3. So let's think through what I did there. I went through, I made an assignment, I attached what I needed, and I only assigned it to 3. What if I wanted to do that again to someone else? I absolutely could. So this is how we can differentiate the instruction. I'm going to create an assignment. Actually, I lied to you. I'm going to reuse an assignment because I'm too lazy to make this a new one. And I'm going to be in the instructional team that I'm already in, and I'm looking for the word pink. Pink, pink, pink right there. There's the one I want. I'm going to reuse that one because I can reuse in post even within the one that I'm doing right, even within the classroom that I'm in right now. Okay, so I'm going to change this one to purple. So use this template. I'm going to remove this because I don't want them to have that one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go give them the purple one. Well, I happen to know that within my Google Drive, I don't have a purple one made. I can guarantee you that I don't have one made. So I'm actually going to have to go make one. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I have all my stuff in one folder in here. And what I would do is I would make sure I go into the classroom that I'm working with. I think it's in here. I might be lying to you. It won't be the first time. It won't be the last. I'm so sorry. It's not in there. So let me go back out. I'm going to search for it. So it's called animal. And I'm going to look for something very specific. So this is a trick. If you don't know how to do this, this is how to do it. I'm looking, I know it has the word animal, and I'm looking for a presentation, and I actually know that I'm the owner. So that's going to really limit me down to, there should only be like 3 of them. There should be a template, a plain one, a blue one, and a pink one. So it's taking a little bit of time. I lied, I have more than one. Oh, that's because I'm in the wrong account. Sometimes I do have problems. See, even that was an example of perfect learning example there. The default account took over. So I need animal, and I need to be in a presentation. Animal, I need to make sure that it's giving me a presentation, or animal, not anime. Sometimes we all have that problem. We'll come down here, we'll go into presentation if it lets me. I broke it the other day. See them all? I want the template. That's the one I want. So as soon as it opens the template, I'll be able to make a purple one. So it's a slide presentation. Here it is right here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take the background. So it's the same template I had before. I made the original. I made it as a template. I'm going to change the background to purple. So this is a real simple way that you can push things out to your students. Done. And I'm going to change it to purple. I need to have that so I know what I'm uploading, right? So now I have a purple template. So here it is, purple. I'm going to come in here and add to Google Drive. It's going to say, hey, what are you working on? What I really like is it says, hey, you just worked on this one in recent. Yep, that's the one I want. I want the purple one. Perfect. Come to my instructional team. I am going to assign it to 2 people. I'm going to give it to the last 2 right there. You notice it has an old date. It's okay. I'm going to leave that for now. They won't hate me. I could just schedule it, but I am just going to assign it. So what I do is I want to stop you right here because it depends on how I push it out to them. So right here, this is the box I'm in. Understand the different ways. There are only 3 ways. There's only 3, but I'm lying to you. There's 4. I'm going to teach you the 4th way to push out an assignment into students. Students can view it. That means it's a PDF. That means you don't have to make things PDF. It just automatically, any document, if I sent this to people, it would be a PDF, okay? If they only have view. Students can edit. They're all editing the same exact document. One document, they're all editing it. That is not what I want. Make a copy for each. I have my original and they each get their own. Again, that's not what I want. So these dots right here are what I call the 3.5 way of adding an assignment into Classroom. So that's what we're going to do. And we've actually already done that. In here, when we're in here, I am assigning it to do 2 like this, 2 people. I don't want to view it. I don't want them to make a copy because if I do that, then they're not collaborating. Yeah, you should be able to see my screen because I'm sharing my classroom screen. Let me go back in and share again. Sorry. I want to make sure you can see what I'm working on. Can you see it now? You should be able to see animal purple in the middle. So students can view a file. I don't want that. I don't want them to make a copy. I want them to edit it. So these two people can edit one file. So this is the 3.5. They have the ability to edit one file. So now I can assign that. So that's a way to differentiate an instructional lesson to push it out and to allow students to collaborate across one region. So we've done, if you schedule an assignment, the assignment is going to be gray. So let me see if I can find one. Right there is an assignment that is scheduled. See, it says scheduled for tomorrow and it's gray. It will push out tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So I can come back in here and what I can do is I can edit it and then I could push it out today. So you see it's on schedule. I could drop that schedule. I could move it to a different day. There's lots of options with that. That's an example of having scheduled an assignment ahead so it's ready to go. Just trying to make sure I have everything that I wanted to get done quickly. I always get a little behind. Sorry. Quick assignments and quizzes, we did that. Okay, let's talk about people. So if I come out here into people, I have about 8 minutes left and I really try to be cognizant of your time. So when I go to people, so in here, I can add co-teachers into my classroom. So I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna add a co-teacher. So this is Erica Preston, she's my colleague. So I'm gonna add her in, it'll send an invite. And this is what I find most teachers are in there. They are in as a co-teacher. And when you are a co-teacher, you are getting slammed with emails coming in. That's when you'd wanna come over into your settings and change them in here. That's where you would change them, turn some of them on and off for an entire class. You can see that you have them in here. So if you're a co-teacher in a lot of classes, you may decide I want to turn all of those off. I don't need all those, I only need that one. That can be very valuable to you. Trust me, I am a co-teacher in like 85 classrooms at one school. I'm all turned off. The only reason I'm a co-teacher is because I need to go in and make sure when there's a technical problem that I can get in it. So that's what we did. They added me in as a co-teacher and I can go fix any technical problems they may have. I don't need the notifications that Susie, Bobby, Joey did their homework. I like Susie, Bobby, Joey. I just don't want their stuff. I got enough of my own stuff. All right. So the next one. So people, adding a co-teacher. One of the other things I like to encourage you to do is to really use your actions. So here's the actions. When I click in this box right here, it brightens up the action box. It makes it live. So I have a few actions that are in here. I can email from this spot. So it'll give me the ability to push emails out. I can remove people from this spot. So let's say Dominique, I don't want her in my class anymore, right? I'm gonna uncheck all the boxes. I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna remove her. I can totally do that. I can just remove her and then she's out. So this is a good way to move people in and out of classes if you don't have it synced with your student information system, say School Tool or Power School or eSchool, one of those. The next thing, we're gonna go there in just a minute, Lori. The next thing you can do, and this is super powerful. So I'm gonna just click Hillary. I can mute her. What does that mean? You can see what it means. She can still submit work. Other students won't see it. She can't reply to students' work and she can't comment and post. So if your students are being naughty in here and they're saying things they should not, mute them. And it's a really good moment to let them know that you're muting them. So you're going to email all guardians. So to get guardians in, say I want to invite Dawn's guardians, and let's say her guardians, her name is, I'm gonna make it me, it's another email, and I'm gonna invite myself. To invite guardians, you must hand jam or type in those email addresses. There's no other way around it. So the question that you asked was, can Guardian see the stream, I think is what you asked. They're going to see a student view. They typically get an overview. But what I will do, and I'm going to write myself a note right now, I last night happened to find a really great 6-minute video of a student view that's basically a tutorial for parents. So it walks parents, because what we're finding is that most parents are helping their students navigate through Google Classroom. And if students have never used it, they find it very they might find it confusing. So I found this great video that someone put out. It's 6 minutes. It's a lot of details in there, but it's really good. So what I will do is I will add that into the notes so you have that. And that will be very helpful. You can just take the link. You can either add it into your classroom or you can really send it to parents. It's the best one that I've seen, and I didn't make it. I found it, so it's someone else's. So how to mute a student. So I'm going to unmute Hillary. So I click the student's name who's misbehaving, and then you can unmute them or you can mute them. So basically what happens is when they come into the stream, they can't comment. So let's kind of look at stream, because in here, my stream settings are that they can post and comment. You have 3 sets of stream options. Only teacher can post and comment. If you choose that and you ask your students a question, they cannot answer. So be very cognizant in that. So you're finding that most teachers are only going to use students can comment. Students can only comment. But quite honestly, you know what? Turn on students can post and comment. This is the perfect time to have a very good digital citizenship conversation with your students about what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. You're in a closed environment. No one else can get into it, right? Only the people that are way better that they do it here than they do it off somewhere else. And then if you need to, then you need to have a conversation with them about the way they're talking to their peers. But, you know, I think this is starting to make a little bit more sense to people about those pieces. So I'm just going to save that. I just want to do a quick review. Yes, I have. I have basically covered everything in there. I didn't do customized header. I'm really, really sorry. That's kind of an upper, kind of bigger thing. You know what? I'll do it. No, I won't. There's too much time. I want to make sure I have enough time for comments. I'm going to open the chat bar just so that I can see it. So Nyla, you know what I will do? I want to say it's next, I don't know. How's that for honesty? I want to say it's next week. Let me look. I think I put it in my book right here. I might have, I might not have. I did not. It's in my other one. I want to say it's next Monday or Wednesday for sure. I'm not super positive of that. It is next Monday at 12:30. So that session went into the catalog yesterday. Level 3. Wah! Hadn't even thought about, but that's an option. So I just want to make sure, can you add assignments for just a few? Yes, that's when you differentiate, and when you come over, you just pick a few students and you can do that, absolutely. Can you invite a guardian to the Get Streams? I'll send the video because I think that is more helpful. So what I want to just let you guys know is that I am available to you whenever you need it. Just send me an email. I'll basically send you an invite back into either my classroom. Our NARIC instructional team is going to start to have virtual office hours available from 8 to 6 starting sometime next week. It won't just be me manning the room. There'll be lots of us in there. Feel free to send me an email if you have any questions. Let me know what I can do to help. By the end of today, I will have, hold on just a minute. I will, Jenny, I'm going to give you an answer in just a minute. I will send you a link with the materials and to the folder. And I don't know how long the recording is going to take. That will be, oh, look at that. Somebody's coming up, Julianne. I guess I will do a Google 3. I think that's really great. You know what? I will just pull together a Google Classroom 3. for those people who want to lose their minds. No, just kidding. But I like that idea. I will get that in there. Feel free to ask me any questions if you need anything. If somebody thinks they want the video just from Google Classroom 1, let me know. I'm going to end up putting it up on YouTube, so I can always just forward you that link as well. So hopefully this was helpful to anyone. I'm going to stay around for a couple minutes. So feel free to pop in or just unmute yourself and ask a question. Let me know, and I'm here. I have an administrator popping in a little bit. So thanks everybody, and make sure if you didn't sign in, that you make sure you sign in and sign, because I am going to give credit in there. I just want to make sure I got everybody, just so I know. So I am going to do a quick check through just to make sure. So yeah, just sign in. All you got to do, Lori, I think I got you. You just need to put your name over there. Is that Lori Millette talking at me there? So she's the only Lori on the list. So I'm saying, yep, that's her. I gotcha. You're good. Thank you, Amanda. So that just allows me to make sure I get your attendance.
Virginia,
Yes.
I'm an ENL teacher, so I've been invited into my one district into the 3 separate classrooms, 4 actually.
Okay.
But some of them I can only see the assignments. Is there a way we can do like a virtual hangout for me to attach to each one of the classrooms?
So I think we'd have to check that and see.
Because I mean, especially for some of my kids, they're better off if they can speak to me one-on-one. I've been doing FaceTimes with a couple of them.
So if the teachers added you into the classroom, I think what you could do is you could create a, if he's added you as a teacher, it might be, and you can't see everything, it might be because your permissions are turned off. We can get them turned back on for you. But what I might also think about is creating a contact sheet for your kids and sending it to them, and you can attach it right into the classroom so they have it in there, and then they be able to come over and contact you. And you can put your Hangout information in there. You can create a stagnant Hangout in there that will give you access to what you need.
All right, because I don't think I've been added as a teacher. I'm just added as an add-on.
Boy, you can only be a student or a teacher, so I'm wondering if they added you in as a student.
Okay.
So what district are you working in?
I'm in Voorheesville, Cobleskill, Richmondville. That we're not allowed to do anything. They don't even give us a district email. And then I'm also at Tech Valley with the teachers, but I can talk to them. They're very techy.
So even if you made the contact hours, you shared it to the teacher?
I haven't made anything yet because I'm going to take your class next week as well. And I'm going to reach out to one of the teachers. He's pretty helpful.
Yeah, I think if you made a contact list for your students, sent it to them so they knew how to get in contact with you, that might be helpful. Because then you could see the assignments. You're welcome, everybody. And you could then just have that populate over without any problems. Okay. Now,
Well, thank you.
To reach out with any questions you have. Okay.
I will actually, because I really would like to be able to do this. I think it's really good.
Well, great. I'm glad it's been helpful. The other option we might have to have is to open up a Google Classroom in a personal account for you.
Yeah.
And then your students could sign in with a personal account.
That would be good, actually, especially in Cobleskill, they're difficult, but like I know one kid has a cell phone. I don't know that he has the computer or even access, but I mean, he's a really good kid and he's willing. And he doesn't speak any English, so he would really like to be able to meet with you one-on-one. He would do it too.
Are you using Hangouts yourself with your students?
Nope, I'm not using anything currently. What I'm doing is I've contacted the parents. They have my phone number. So, you know, but I can contact my 5th grade teacher and see if he knows how to add me in as a Hangout person. Because if I could be sitting there, then they could reach me anytime during those office hours.
Right. Yeah, I think that might be a solution. I think that personal account, because your students would be able to come in, you could work with them. You wouldn't have to jump through some of those other pieces. I'm going to turn this off for a second.
All right.
No, not this. I'm just